Right. So just a quick review of what we did last day. Last day we said that if a quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 has roots alpha and beta, right? So all these things mean is if you solve a quadratic, you get two values. Those are called the roots. That's all. Right? If the roots are alpha and beta, then we said that alpha plus beta is minus b on a, and alpha by beta is c on a. And we also said that every quadratic could be written like this. A quadratic could be written like x squared minus the sum of the roots by x plus the product of the roots equals to 0. All right. So this is what we did last week, right? We use these two things in order to solve some questions, right? I'll do a quick example for you. Right. So what you're saying? Right. So what you say, right? So as I said, a quadratic, if it has roots alpha and beta, then alpha plus beta is this value, alpha by beta is this value. And if you want to rewrite the quadratic, all you have to do is take the sum of the roots, write it here, product of the roots, write it here. And then you have the same quadratic. All right? So what you're saying? A is what? 3, B is, and C is 9. How do we find alpha plus beta? Alpha plus beta is this. Alpha plus beta is minus B on E. So that would be minus 6 on 3. So I got positive 2. Alpha by beta is C on E. So it's 9 on 3. Right? So we know what is alpha plus beta and alpha by beta. Now, how do we find this? What to do? What you have to do? Do it. Find the LCM, right? We have to write this in terms of this. So find the LCM, you'll get alpha beta. The numerator is what? Beta plus alpha. We know what is beta plus alpha? 2. We know what is alpha by beta? 3. That's it. Right? That's all. How you find this? This means multiplied. This means multiplied. So it will be 1 over alpha beta. We know what is alpha beta, which is 3. That's it. Okay? And if I ask for an equation, this will be a new equation because the roots were. Sorry, I jumped past that thing. I write the wrong thing. The roots were alpha and beta. Now the roots are this. So after finding new equation, how do I find a new equation? Well, it will be x squared minus the sum of the roots by x plus the product of the roots equal to 0. So what do I need? I need the sum of the new roots. So I need 1 on alpha plus 1 on beta. Then I need the product of the roots. 1 on alpha by 1 on beta. I already found the sum for you. That was here. I already found the product for you. That was it. That's it. You can multiply by 3 to make it look nicer. And that's it. Okay? That's what we did last week. Okay, I just give them different versions of this. All right, so it wasn't already a hard thing, but you have to remember. Okay. Copy them as an example, and you can look back at the video from last week to get the other variations of it. Today we're going back and do sketching the quadratic. I'm not sure if I did this sketching material. Yeah, we did this sketching already. Check at the beginning when we are doing. We did sketching the quadratic, right? Yeah. I'll do by example. Right, I'll do by example of sketching the quadratic, and now we're going to go in depth a little bit more into the quadratic. There's a whole section in our class just quadratic. Right, have a little Google form first, morning, but have a little Google. About once a week or question for Google, right? That'll be with multiple choice. I'll share that's right. Right, so please remember that roots simply mean where it cuts the x-axis, or when we solve the quadratic. That's all roots mean, right? So I'm just going to run over a quick sketch for you that we did last term, and then we're really going to focus on inequalities today. Then I will show you. And so we did last time. Yeah, I'm just showing you more. Well, you can write it out or you can what to ask you. You know, that's me, that's it. I'll that will be on class next week, right? I will be out. I don't know. What will you next week? No matter again. Well, that's right. It's not much. Wait, you want to? That I thought for the name, right, so as I was saying, it have different variations of this, right? So I want to watch back the video and you'll get a different variation. It's also in the math summary. I sent it. All right, that's all. All right, nice. So one more review with now, kind of put one review. Right? If one more review now is I wanted to be able to sketch any quadratic, right? So I just going over these steps, right? And I could use this. I could use this because we know quadratics have two forms, max and min, right? Let's assume this one min. How you move it max or min? You look at A, and if A is more than 0 is a, and if A is less than 0 is a, right? Nice. So here is alpha and here is beta. That's what I mean by roots. Okay. And the other things that we need to know shape. We need to know where the roots, where cuts the x-axis. We need to know where cuts the y-axis. Anybody remember where cuts the y-axis? at it cuts the y-axis somewhere. At the right at the y-intercept, but what is the y-intercept? It's always something. Right, C. So the y-intercept is always C. So once you know C, you know the y-intercept. And I also showed you this special point, which we call the turning point, and the turning point is minus H and P. That's okay? So you find H, H is beyond 2A minus H, per minus sign in front. And K is C minus AH squared. Okay? So this is what we did last year. What we're moving on to now is solving inequality. All right? So what does an inequality mean now? Yeah, follows. We have a green on. All right, so about green arrow. Right? So when I say inequality, right? Whenever we solve and whatever this makes sense, right? Whenever we solve a quadratic, we solve a quadratic equals 0, right? And you may or may not remember that this line here, the x-axis, is y is equal to 0, right? This line here, everything under this line, y is 0. So it means that everything above the line is more than 0. Everything below the line is less than 0. That's okay? Watch it if I should. Don't worry about that too much. That you always had that video. But when you go, make it go. Watch out. Right? So here we have more than 0, less than 0. Are you okay with that? Whenever you solve a quadratic equal to 0, you are finding the answers on this line. In this example here, the answers were alpha and theta. Are you okay with that? So we were only interested in these 2 points here, where it cuts the x-axis. Now, we're going to be interested in the values that cause it to be more than 0 and the values that cause it to be less than 0. Right? You'll see the part of the graph that's more than 0. That's here and here. That's okay? You'll see the part of the graph that's less than 0. That's here. Anybody can guess what the solution is? What are the x values? So for if ax squared plus bx plus c is more than 0, what are the solutions? What are the x values that give you something less than 0? If you look at this graph, you'd recognize that all the values less than alpha, giving you this. 2 outside value here. So anything less than alpha, giving you a value here. Anything more than beta, giving you a value there. You'll see that? Only when we have values smaller than alpha, and only when we have values greater than beta. And the way you see it is to use the symbol union. You'll see that? So if I ask you to solve a quadratic less than 0, what you're interested in is alpha and beta, and this is the solution, nothing else. You have to figure anything else out. That's okay? But suppose I said ax squared plus bx plus c is less than 0 now. What will the solution be? Anybody? What do you think the solution will be? Right. Right. So it will be all the values between here. How do I write that? Alpha. So it's more than alpha and less than beta. Right? That's how you write it. All okay with that? Right? So in short, once you turn it into a minimum, because we have to turn it into a minimum, whenever you see less than, this is your solution set all the time. Whenever you see Sorry, whenever you see more than, there's a solution set. Whenever you see less than, there's solution set. All the time, right? Only problem is if the quadratic is a maximum. I'm going to ask you what we'll do in a little while. Okay? Head up inequalities and copy this down. Head up inequalities and copy down the left-hand side. Right? So for those who get lost online, all I want you to remember is this. Right? Whenever the question asks you to solve less than 0, you write your solution like this. Whenever it says, sorry, I keep saying the wrong thing. Whenever it says ask you to solve more than 0, solution like this. Less than 0, solution like this. Okay, copy it down and let's try an example. Hey, Matthias getting usually live though with that. Right? Nice. Let's jump into example. Right? So I'm gonna show you one, right? But as I said, these rules only hold if it's minimum, right? So I'm going to need the advice when it's the maximum, what to do. All right, so keep that in the back of your mind, right? So let's start with example one. Let's see if we could solve something like this. 5x squared. Right, improve my handwriting. 5x squared minus 4x minus 1 is less than 0. Right? How do we solve it? Right? We need a few steps. So the steps that we're going to take is number one, we need to solve the quadratic. We need to solve the quadratic to obtain alpha and beta. Next, once you do that, we use the rules. That's all. Right? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to find, you call them critical values. You don't call them groups anymore. Right? We want to find the critical values of 5x squared minus 4x minus 1 is 0. Right? So go take calculator tomorrow again. Right? We normally use alpha as the smaller one, beta as the bigger value. Right? We want to get the critical values of this. So go take calculators to solve it. 5x squared minus 4x minus 1. 1 and minus 1 over 5. Nice. So we found the critical values. All your hard work finished. That's it then. So here's what you're doing. You cannot just write down the solution. The method I am showing you is the graphical method. In school, you might do a table method, but I don't like it. I find this faster. Right? So what you do is you sketch a solution, one negative, one positive. So here will be negative 1/5, here will be 1. And question said less than 0. So you have to shade where it's less than 0. Where is less than 0? Up here or down here? Below. By doing that, you tell them that you understand what this means. So your answer will be, as I said, less than 0. It's that. Minus 1/5 is less than x is less than 1. That's it. Right? I just like to switch them around, right? I like the smaller value to be alpha and the bigger value to be minus 1/5 to 1. Okay? That's how we do it. Okay? Make sure here is 0. Make sure here is minimum. Solve it. Use 0. Copy it down. That's more than or equal to, right? Right? If it's more than or equal to, then you include the equal signs here, right? It will be name values. It will be name values. Yeah, just round it off to one decimal place and make it look nice. Ah, impossible. Right, just press SD. Just one. One decimal place, right? Right, remember this is more than, so shade up here. You have to shade it. We're using the graphical solution, so you have to shade. Right, if you get lame values, that's okay, right? Right, just make a little note here that the right hand side must be 0. Right, so by now you should have your critical values. Right, critical values of 4x squared minus 3x minus 2 is 0. Alpha is. And beta is 1.2. That's okay? All together? Right, online, so I'll just go ahead and sketch it here. Minus 0.4, 1.2. I have a little quiz to give all here, so I have to give it before. I'll give you a few minutes to do it just now. Right, and question says more than 0, so you shade in here. Shade in here. Okay, and then you're writing your solution set x. X is less than or equal to, write it bad. X, oh shucks, no, I did not write it well. X is less than or equal to 0.4 together with x is more than or equal to 1. This is your solution set. Okay, and that's it. Are you okay with that? Online, are you okay with that? Can I make it more complicated now? Or not yet? Not yet? Online, any questions? Hunaya, you weekend? Right, let's not make it too complicated again. Solve. Without come up. Right, as I said, the right hand side must be 0. So what you'll do? Right, move it across. Go ahead. Actually got some hard ones then. Where is the book? I'll definitely talk to you. Maybe that's what I do. Good people. But right, yeah, so you're gonna name values, right? So you have to expand this out and bring a classified. So I just check in the expansion just to make sure you have it right. X squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 8 and bring across the 5. So you're getting x squared plus 2x minus 13 is less than 0. Okay? And then you find the critical values of x, right? Critical values of x, alpha is the smaller value, beta is the bigger value. Right? Alpha is what? Minus 4 points. And beta, 2.7. Right? One negative, one positive. Negative 4.7, 2.7. If you want to get shift it more this way, right? Question said less than 0, so where are we shading? Underneath. Right? So solution set is 4.7 is less than x is less than 2.7. Right? Let's complicate it slightly. Not really. Once you write the correct thing in. But remember the solution I gave you is alpha, beta. So alpha should always be the smaller value. Right? What you can do if you don't want to choose, we're above this. So write alpha and beta. Just write the two values and then write it. Right? You don't have to write alpha and beta. Right? Are you okay with this? Show our video. Right. What's this here? Tell me what you all recognize about this one. Oh, I know it asked for universe already. Well, right? This one's a maximum, right? If you want, you can learn the rules for a maximum, right? But we try to reduce the amount of load that you're going to put in cream, right? So here what you can do. You got to turn it into a minimum. Very good. If you multiply by -1, this maximum becomes minimum. So you'll end up with 5x squared minus 4x minus 6. What's the most important thing? Switch the signs. Less than or equal till becomes more than or equal. Okay? So I want you to remember to switch the signs. Okay? Then you solve. Critical values are, you do your little sketch, and then your solution. All right, online, so highlight this, please. Whenever you have a maximum, multiply by -1. Okay? Have you done? Finish it. Right? Highlight this in your notes, right? Whenever you have a max, multiply by -1. Alright, so then, after you do that, take 5 minutes and do the quiz on the group chat. It's on indices. It's very easy. I just testing out something. Right, put your name. Right, put your name and fill out the quiz I sent it. Title quiz, please. I get you. You want in help in the thing. You help in the quiz I use the marks. Right? You can work it out and then you can look back if you want, but that's it. That is it. Right, do the quiz in about six questions, all over. Online, do the quiz on the group, please. Okay. What again, huh? No. Absolutely pretty wrong. That's fast. So wait, so number wasn't go working. So number 8 is the one with E square B. But you have a number 8. Yeah. Proves from the gap. But we can type in the wrong thing. I want to say it as well. If anybody has one. Yes. Yeah, number 7 is the plug make calculator. Right, you can pull out the 3 and then multiply. What I wanted to do with number 7 was this 2 to the 3. Anybody working online still? Time up. Right, they wanted to do something like this. 2 multiplied by 5 cubed, 10 squared. 2 by 5 is what? So you'll get 10, 3 minus 2, which is 10. Oh. Right? Yes. So yeah, so they probably make a mistake, but he probably put in the wrong answer. But 8, 8 with 8. Yeah. I know, we probably put it in wrong. I'll fix it. We just trying out something new. Right? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, if you expand, you should get 10 as well. But the way they want you to work with like that, same answer. So 7 appears to be wrong and 8 appears to be wrong, right? But at least it's working. I just want to see the feedback and see how the feedback looking. And then we go to, all right, let's go back to where we were. The last one we did was here. The last one we did was here, so I'll fix the error, right? The error was 7 on it. I don't know where you're getting it from. What were your critical values here? What were your critical values here? Minus 0.8 and 1.6. So minus 0.8 here, 1.6 here. Question said more than. Question said more than. So I would like all the values less than 0.8 together with all the values more than 1.6. Are you okay with that? Nice. Just to make it a little bit more complicated. Right? So sometimes right? If we get something like this, ax plus b over cx plus d is more than 0, right? Suppose I gave you a fraction like this. How are we going to solve something like this? Right? Right. In order to solve something like this, yes, you could cross multiply and get rid of the denominator, but you end up losing a solution. You're supposed to normally get two solutions. So what you do, you multiply by cx plus d squared on both sides, right? Sometimes you will not have 0 here, right? But what this does is this will cancel out the denominator, and then you can expand it and get quadratic. Okay? So if you have something called, these are called rational. If you have rational fractions, they multiply by the denominator squared. Okay, so make a note of that. Multiply by denominator squared. Multiply by denominator squared on both sides. Okay, multiply on both sides. All right, copy it down. And you're following the same procedure. Oh, it had 2 errors in it. The last one. But I don't want to see feedback in it. I would also they might have thought the end of it. But that's all right, you just trying that out. Right? Just some to watch the answer. I just want to see the feedback to get the answer. The answer was A, this one is A, this one is both was A. So I want to see the feedback, so most of them said it didn't. Right? Okay, the one on Microsoft or stuff? You should know what you use now. Start number 1. Okay, try number 1 there. It's not showing up. Yeah, trying to see like who get what wrong on. Yeah, I want to see the map. I want to see who get it. Right, I'm an expert to give you after. Push up, yeah. Well, one is on Microsoft and one is from Google. Microsoft one looking real pretty. Like you'll recognize, you'll see it. What's it? Right, Ole, I have one more quiz for you after this one, right? After you do this, do that quiz, please. Here, this one here. Right, so again, it's rational, so you're multiplying both sides by the denominator squared. Without cost. Right, so you're multiplying both sides, value by the denominator squared. Quiz after. This one too. Multiplying both sides by the denominator squared. Right. Right, in case you're confused, I'm gonna show you fast. Multiplying the left side by the denominator squared, right side by the denominator squared. No stress here, because that's 0. Slight stress here. What to do here? Can I cancel? Yeah. And I'll end up with x minus 1 by 3x plus 2. Okay. Now it is solved. Right? Get your critical value. You can expand if you want. You don't have to. Get your critical values. Do your sketch and tell me what the solution is. Online, any issues? Oh, I have no seen chat. Chat no. Chira, send my WhatsApp now, please. I'll add in the chat. It may have errors. I just testing out something, right? Next time I'll check it over. Right? So what you say earlier, there was no need to expand it out and then solve it. It's already factorized. So make this equal to 0, you'll get 1. Make this equal to 0, you'll get minus 2/3. Right? So there was no need to go and solve it because it's already factorized here. Right? I wanted to see who went and do that. Right? So we have minus 2/3 here. We have 1 here. Question says more than, so shade here. So our solutions are minus 2/3 is less than x. It's less than 1. Oh gosh, we're going to right? X is less than minus 2/3 together with x is more than 1. Okay, those are your solution sets. Right? Take the next 5 minutes now and do the last question, please. Right? I think it asks for your name on the top, right? Right, do the quiz there, please. right? The quiz there. Might have one thing that I don't know with the discriminant, right? B squared minus 4ac. If you don't know it, that's all right. Just let me see what you're gonna feel the guess. Let's see with a high or lower limit. Yeah, it's not a little bit low. What's your name, huh? It's your first name. So that leaves between down. Right. So what then? So that's the fine. Okay. Ano ay isa lang ito. Check out TLF. Somebody just leave the group. Just TLF online. Not the best. Still living. Living now. Done. Take your time. I just want to see how they respond to that. Right, if you stop the unquadratics. Long. Questions? Take it off. I am short. Then what's a quick thing? But should finish? And back with what? Backing up. I just put the link in and go down.
Thanks.
Huh? I don't, you have to. But it's minus each. X value is minus.
It's on those two, the actual answer is -2. So.
Right, once you're done online, you have to log out, right? That's all we do it. I want you to do those two forms. So I can